What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my top 10 quarterbacks for the 2021 NFL season. These are mainly based off of how I project them, both going into next season as well as performing next season. And yeah, by the way, I hope you like the new mic. Very, very smooth, I think. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off, before we get into the actual top 10, I'm going to give a few guys that didn't quite make that top 10, but very well could be in your top 10, and I would definitely understand why. Kirk Cousins, he's the quarterback that he's going to get the job done for you. If you put a talented roster around him, he can lead that roster to something, but him by himself is not that talented of a player. Matt Ryan, I believe, has always been way overhyped. He had the MVP season, and I feel like ever since then, people have been looking at him as like a top 10 quarterback, like automatically. And I really don't think he's that good. He's really starting to get up there in age. He's definitely regressed in a lot of different areas, and I have him probably as somewhere my number 10 or 11, 12, 13. I don't view him as a top 10 quarterback personally. And then Ryan Tannehill, who has had a resurgence with the Titans. And yes, while he has played incredibly, you also have to remember the type of offense that he had there with that offensive line there in Tennessee. He's still a good quarterback. Obviously, he'd still, again, be my 11, 12, 13. I just wouldn't consider him in the top 10 and would not put him with some of these other guys. But moving on into the top 10, at number 10, we have Kyler Murray. Up in the top right, you'll see a star rating. 1 star equals good, 2 stars is really good, 3 stars is great, 4 stars is amazing, and 5 stars is best in the league. So there's going to be very, very few players that have 5 stars here. If you look at his 2019 stats, very solid. 67% completion, almost just 30 yards off of 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, and a 94 quarterback rating. Very, very solid season from Kyler Murray, who was playing behind a pretty poor offensive line, and was really doing a lot for himself. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins helped a lot, but I think with some of the additions of AJ Green, Rondale Moore, Brian Winters, Rodney Hudson, I think this offense is much, much improved, and Kyler Murray is actually one of my sleepers for MVP next year. And I have him here at number 10 to start off our list. At number 9, I have Lamar Jackson, and perhaps a bit of a hot take. Definitely a bit of a hot take. No, he's a 2-star player. I do think he is a very good quarterback. And, just because I have Lamar Jackson down here at 9 does not mean I don't think he's a good quarterback. He's easily, by far, the best running quarterback in the entire league right now. But call me old-fashioned, I still like my quarterbacks to actually pass the ball. He's not a bad passer. In fact, he's a very, very smart quarterback. You can tell by his completion percentage, his touchdown to interception ratio, and his quarterback rating. But he's just not a great passer. And again, call me old-fashioned, but I like a quarterback that can pass. He's electrifying to watch, but at the end of the day, there's truly a cap to his ability, and I kind of feel like he's at the top of where his game is going to ever get right now. And while he's a great quarterback, they've been first-round, second-round exits, because even though the roster is really talented, Lamar has a cap to his ability, and I think ultimately that's what's been holding him back. And so I have him there at 9. He's still a great quarterback, but I don't think that putting him at 9 should be that controversial. Then at 8, I know people are going to start getting mad at this. I mean, doing a video like this, and by the way, we're going to be doing every single position as our next few videos, so I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off. Baker Mayfield here at 8, I know is going to be a controversial take. A lot of people do not like Baker. A lot of people love hating on Baker, and I don't get why. I mean, 63%, 3,563 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, which is his best ratio of his career so far, and a 96 quarterback rating. Baker Mayfield had his best year this year. He didn't put up the electrifying numbers. I mean, 3,500 yards and 26 touchdowns are nothing to sneeze at. He was very, very talented. Obviously, Cleveland had a very strong run game to help support them this year, but Baker didn't really play very well without his top target and, honestly, a pretty weak receiving core. I really like Baker Mayfield. I think people need to stop hating on him so much, and he's here at number 8 for me. So then at 7, we have Matthew Stafford, and I think people are finally starting to realize this a bit more. Matthew Stafford is an extremely talented quarterback. Look at the season he's just had in Detroit. Look at every season he's just had in Detroit. I mean, last year, 64%, 4,000 yards, 26-10, and a 96 quarterback rating. And that's with, I mean, he had Kenny Golladay, sure, but that's with, I mean, one of the worst, if not the worst franchise of the last 10 years. People kind of forget. I mean, there's a reason this guy was the number one pick in 2009. Matt Stafford is a very, very talented quarterback, and I think people have forgotten that because he has been on such a horrible Lions team. And I think now on the Rams with a proper team, a young, good coach and Sean McVay, someone that's willing to kind of just let him play with the weapons that he's been given, I think Matt Stafford is going to excel, and he can easily be top 5 come next year on this list. Right now he's at 7, but I do expect Matthew Stafford to have a great year with just a good team for once. The Lions, they're no fun to play for. Calvin Johnson will tell you that. 6, we have Tom Brady. I don't know if people are going to find this controversial per se. He did just have an amazing season, obviously. He's our first 3-star quarterback on this list. 66, basically 66%, 4,600 yards, 40-12 touchdown interceptions, and a 96 quarterback rating. He had a fantastic year. I mean, he just won the Super Bowl. He's a great quarterback. He's down here at 6 because I think the top 5 guys you're definitely still going to take over him at this point in time, just because he is 43 now, I believe. In all reality, even though he does take such good care of his body and he is a very healthy individual, that's why he's still playing at 43, any moment he can go down and that's his career, because he really is that old. I mean, age will catch up with everybody. We're even seeing with LeBron James right now. It will happen with Tom Brady at some point. That might be this year, might be next year. Maybe he'll never have a bad year. Maybe he will never have a bad year and he retires. But I still think I'm going to take these other 5 guys over him just because, again, the age, they're definitely more mobile. And Tom Brady is a great quarterback. He's number 6. That puts him, as the 6th best quarterback in a league with over 100 guys at quarterback. Tom Brady, still great here at 6. Don't get mad at me because he's not 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. Speaking of 5, Russell Wilson. It's so difficult for me to not put him. I mean, really, you could make a case for number 2. Look at his last year: 69% percentage, 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 13 interceptions, 105 quarterback rating. He is our first 4-star quarterback of the video. I just can't put him above a few of these other guys. First off, he is, on the older side. I mean, at 30. I think it's 32 now. Obviously, he's not very old, especially for a quarterback, but there are just still younger guys than him. And the thing with Russell Wilson is he just never finishes a season. He'll always start it out as in the MVP discussion, but then he'll instantly be out of it by week 12, week 13. And so while he's great, I don't know. He always drops off at the end of the season, and I really do love Russell Wilson. In my opinion, he is the most valuable player in the league. Not the MVP. Don't get that confused. I think he is the most valuable player. If you took one player away from any team, the team that would be hit the hardest is the Seahawks, because Russell Wilson is a fantastic talent. I just find it really hard to put him above any of these other players, and that starts with Josh Allen at number 4, who statistically technically had a better season than Russell Wilson anyways, 69 percentage, but above it, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 107 quarterback rating. Josh Allen had an amazing year. And just combined with the age, I'd definitely say he has a stronger arm than Russell Wilson. Honestly, at this point, it's probably more mobile. I just don't see any way I can put Russell Wilson over Josh Allen at this point. And I think Josh Allen's probably once again going to be in the MVP discussion next year. Obviously, a super talented quarterback. And at 4, I think that's a perfect placement for him right now. And again, it's hard not to put Russ over him, but it just really, I don't see any way I can. But Josh Allen, obviously, like I said, is extremely talented quarterback, and him here at number 4. Number 3, I have Deshaun Watson, and I have the little Eagles logo up there in the corner because the talk right now is that Deshaun Watson is going to be traded to the Eagles, and it makes a lot of sense. The Jets got their guy with Zach Wilson. the Dolphins do seem pretty stuck to Tua right now. And with the Eagles, they've made it pretty clear that they don't really like Jalen Hurts. And Deshaun Watson would be a great fit for them, obviously. Now, he's here at number 3 because, I mean, are you serious? Look at these numbers on that Texans team. Last year, he had David Johnson, he had Brandon Cooks, and Will Fuller at times. And this man had a 70% completion percentage, almost 5,000 yards. He led the NFL in yards, 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and 112 quarterback rating. With those kind of weapons and that kind of an offensive line, Deshaun Watson is arguably the best quarterback in the league. And that's considering that we have 2 guys ahead. Obviously, you know who they are. Deshaun Watson, if you put him on a talented team, he might take over Patrick Mahomes as that most talented rogue. That's how good Deshaun Watson is. And I feel really sorry that he's had to be on that horrible Texans team. I think the Eagles just makes a lot of sense at this point. Do they have the best offensive weapons? No. But I think at this point, anywhere to get out of Houston makes sense. And I would have thought it would have been the Broncos, but I think they have some other plans in mind. And Deshaun Watson here to the Eagles, I think, again, makes sense. And just this man is so incredible. Put him on a team with some weapons and just watch. Number 2, this is kind of where I see a bit of definitely the hardest choice. Is the best quarterback in the league right now Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes? And I would say, obviously we all know Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Obviously, there's no spoiler there. This year alone, obviously Aaron Rodgers was better. Almost a 71% completion, 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions, and 121 quarterback rating. I keep saying ranking. Aaron Rodgers is talented, and I think we all know that. And as you can see up in the top left, I do believe he is going to the Broncos. I think with all the stuff going on with him and the Packers right now, I don't see the Packers firing their GM anytime soon. And if he is traded, I do definitely believe it's to the Broncos. And I do think that will happen. He's a super, super talented quarterback. Definitely starting to get up there in age. At 38, you're really starting to wonder how much longer can he really do this. But considering he just had maybe his best season at 37, who knows what this guy can still do. Obviously an extremely talented quarterback. And, if you gave him that Broncos offense, being realistic, he could win MVP again. And I don't even think that should be a controversial take either. Giving him those kind of weapons when he's never really had them, that'd be incredible to see Aaron Rodgers do what he can with that offense. So I think Denver makes a lot of sense, and he's here at number 2. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be at number 1, and I really, at the end of the day, just couldn't put anyone else here. Statistically, no, he didn't have the same season as Aaron Rodgers. Less touchdowns, technically 1 more interception, less quarterback rating, although it's still great. Less completion percentage. Mahomes, I feel like we're already starting to get to that stage where people just want to hate on him because he is so good. We see that with LeBron James. We see that with Tom Brady. It's Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, I don't care what you say. Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen play. And, obviously I've grown up watching Tom Brady, and yes, I've watched Joe Montana, so don't come at me, older fans. He is just too talented. Look at the Super Bowl for the prime example of how talented Patrick Mahomes is. The fact that he was making those kinds of plays and his receivers were just dropping the balls and his line was playing like complete trash, and the fact that he still played as well as he did, there's no doubt in my mind that Patrick Mahomes is honestly the best quarterback I've ever watched. And I've told this to a few people and they say I'm crazy. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is already on a trajectory to be the greatest, maybe not even football player, but greatest player of all time in all sports. And I think, the fact that what he's done so far is just incredible. I expect him to be number 1 on this list again next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Patrick Mahomes is an incredible talent, and he's pretty easily coming in here at number 1, even with the season Aaron Rodgers had. And he is our first 5-star player. Warning, there are only 5 5-star players actually in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. And if you want to go take a guess at that in the comments below, go ahead. But that is going to be the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We're at 321 right now. The growth has been pretty crazy lately, so every single person that does hit that subscribe button, I do thank you so much. And if you want to become 322, you can be next. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.